Amistad and HarperAudio present I Am Nobody's Slave, How Uncovering My Family's History Set Me Free by Lee Hawkins. This is the author. A note on language and terminology. As I share the story of my family, tracing our history back to my great-great-great-grandmother and those who came before and after her, I want to address the language used in this book. Many of my ancestors were Black and endured the horrors of enslavement. For them, I prefer to use the term enslaved because it reflects that slavery was something forced upon them, not something that defined them. This distinction is important to me, as it honors the strength, resilience, and dignity of those who came before me, ensuring that their legacy is seen for the courage and greatness it truly represents. In accordance with Amistad's policy, we will be using enslavement instead of slavery wherever possible. Initially, I intended to put the word slave in quotes to reflect my discomfort with the term. However, after thoughtful discussions with my editor and editorial team, we agreed that while enslaved is the more accurate and respectful term, there are moments when using slave may be more practical for the flow of the narrative. This decision was made with deep respect for my ancestors and the horrific and complex history they lived through. On a related note, I want to explain my choice of terminology when referring to the Muskogee people. After consulting with experts who have studied the history and culture for decades, I will be using the term Creek in this book, as it has been traditionally recognized and is still acknowledged by many members of the community. However, in some instances, I will also use First Nations and Indigenous to honor their status as the original inhabitants of this land. My preference for these terms reflects my deep respect for the Muskogee as a people, and I have striven to tell the story of their involvement with my family with the utmost sensitivity and love. As you listen to this book, please know that every word was chosen with care, with an unwavering commitment to honoring the history, strength, and enduring legacy of my family and the communities connected to it. Thank you for joining me on this deeply personal journey through our shared history. Part 1. Black Boy in Maplewood, USA. 1. Hawkins. I was raised to revere being a Hawkins. It exemplifies our Black power and pride, an inheritance for those blessed to bear this name. From the day my legs were too short to touch the footrest of the chair at Mr. Harper's barber shop in the heart of St. Paul's historic Rondo neighborhood, that message was drummed into me. This haven for Black men was a hub of stories that seemed to reverberate through every soul waiting for a trim. And even 15 years later, it still resounded in my brain when I heard the words Leroy Hawkins, Jr. boom through the loudspeaker as I walked out in my long-tail tuxedo, marking the pinnacle of my senior year Botillion Gala in 1989. The Botillion, a male version of a debutante ball, introduced young men transitioning into the Black men we were groomed to become. At every stage, my father, my grandfathers, and every other Black man I looked up to, from the barbers who perfected my flat top at Mr. Harper's to the 90-year-old church deacons who took communion to sick and shut-in congregants every first Sunday, reinforced this theme. A Black man's name was a gift from his ancestors. The Hawkins name, they said, was to be celebrated and protected, always with an eye towards advancing the bloodline for future generations. Lee, they told me, always take pride in your family because your name is...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?